Welcome back to ManaTutor MGG Draft. Today we're discussing Edge of Eternities. This set has a lot of interesting twists to cover. We'll cover them in an archetype review, color grades, archetype grades, big picture predictions, and even a spacecraft ranking prediction that you won't want to miss. Let's start with the archetypes. Roughly speaking, the friendly color pairs on the left look like they're well supported as their archetype description, and the enemy color pairs on the right get a bit tricky with their descriptions. On the left we have blue-white second spell. This looks supported and looks to be more aggro-focused. We have blue-black artifact control, and that description looks accurate. Red-black void looks supported, and cheap 1-2 mana warp spells look particularly good in this deck to trigger void. Red-green landers look supported, and white-green counters look supported. On the right side, we have white-black go wide. There's not a lot of go wide support. It seems to be more of a small game attrition deck that has some additional resources outlasting your opponents to get in to finish off the game. So while you'll technically be wider than your opponent's limited board, you aren't particularly wide yourself. We have blue-red artifact aggro. While perhaps the most true to its archetype description amongst the enemy color pairs, this archetype seems to also incorporate some mid-range elements like ramp and card draw. We have green-black graveyard. There isn't really a lot of graveyard synergies happening here. For the record, there's only 5 cards in green or black that have the word graveyard on them at uncommon and 0 at common. It doesn't mean green-black will be a bad deck, it just loosely gets some benefit from the graveyard. We have red-white space stations. It's not like red and white get access to more space stations than the other colors. They do benefit from having tapped creatures a bit more, and helps you go wide to be able to station your space stations without dying on the crackback. And lastly, we have blue-green ramp. This indeed benefits from ramp, but I also think is the color pair you're most likely to splash in. Now moving on to our grades, for those not familiar, we took the standard grading scale from A+ to F and assigned a number to each one of those grades from 0 to 10, starting at D+ being 1 because that's the grade that you're most likely to start with in your deck, and we went ahead and took the average grade result by the numbers for all the commons and uncommons per color. When doing that, we got blue as the strongest color at 3.36, black slightly below that at 3.33, green and white below that tied at 3.25, and in last place we had red at 3.17. For context, that's not a huge difference between the colors. You can see we're between a C and C+ for all those colors without them being too far apart. It's also interesting to look at the depth of the color, particularly how many cards it has at C+ or higher amongst the commons and uncommons, and you'll see here that green was the deepest with 18 cards at C+ or higher, blue second with 17, white and red next at 16, and black quite a bit behind at 14. Although black is more shallow, you'll see it's still the second highest rated color amongst all the colors here. What that's saying is that black, while maybe not deep, has some standout cards. We'll take a preview of those cards, but I first want to call out, roughly grading in order here, just by our subjective grades, we had blue and black as the top tier colors, followed by green and white, followed by red. We mentioned black is top loaded with a few really great cards. We actually graded 2 of them as A-minuses. One is this uncommon card, Monoist Circuit Feeder. For 4 black, you get a 4/4 flyer. When this creature enters, until end of turn, target creature you control gets +X+O, and target creature an opponent controls gets -O/-X, where X is the number of artifacts you control. You'll obviously want artifacts for this card, but they're all over the place, and this would play great in a blue-black artifacts deck, for example. The next card that we had at an A- is actually a common. Depressurize. 1 in a black for an instant. Target creature gets -3/-0 until end of turn. Then if that creature's power is 0 or less, destroy it. This card kills 78% of common and uncommon creatures, and all at 2 mana and instant speed. I can't remember the last time we got such a cheap instant speed card with that wide of coverage. And on to our archetype rankings. Pay less attention to the exact order. I'm mostly showing 3 tiers I see in great decks, good decks, and okay decks. First up, we have blue-black at 3.15, black-green at 3.11, and black-red at 3.08, all as great decks. A slight tier lower, we have white-blue at 3.03 and white-black at the same score, as well as blue-green and blue-red at 3.02, all as good decks. In the last tier, we have red-green at 2.97, white-green at 2.95, and white-red at 2.93, all okay decks. Nothing looks clearly unplayable to me, but I suspect we'll have 1 to 2 Naya decks that we'll be looking to avoid after week 1. I'm willing to play any archetype, but I'll probably soft avoid starting in red on day 1. But who knows, that might all change come day 2. Let's talk a bit about the big picture of the format. This format is the opposite of Tarkir Dragonstorm and Pioneer Masters. We have no common dual land fixing, all we have at common is Command Bridge. We do have lander tokens, and there's 6 cards at common that generate them. And we also have Gene Pollinator, which I suspect will be amongst Green's top commons. The set looks slow with lots of removal and defense. As someone that can appreciate a nice aggro strategy, I'm a bit worried that this is trending on the speed of Aether Drift. Also, card draw isn't abundant. Blue has it. Other colors trigger some card draw on creatures, but those are vulnerable. Spaceships might really be where your card advantage comes in. So now let's rank the uncommon and common spacecraft. In 12th place, I have Wormwall Sweeper. Early on, you won't have much you want to tap to station your spacecraft, and doing so to get a 2/2 flyer on board doesn't seem worth it. In 11th place, I have Caesarean Dirgecraft. A 5-mana Edict, even to eventually get a 4/3 flyer with effort, doesn't attract me much. Admittedly, with all black's removal, maybe you're edicting their last good thing. However, with all that great removal, are you really finding space for this in your deck? In 10th place, I have Wedgelight Rammer. We're starting to get to space stations that come with help to station them, which I like. But it doesn't seem that powerful making a 2/2 and getting a 3/4 flyer with some effort. In 9th place, I have Specimen Freighter. Bouncing 2 of your opponent's creatures when you're a blue-red aggro deck, or bouncing 2 of your own creatures with Enter the Battlefield abilities can be a real advantage. Getting a 4/7 flyer on top of that is pretty nice. In 8th place, I have Fell Graveship. This isn't bad card advantage. The flyer you get isn't huge, but might not need to be when your black removal can clear the way. In 7th place, I have Ulthros Scanship. Draw 2, discard 1 can really shape your hand. A 4/4 flyer on top of that is a pretty decent threat. In 6th place, I have Debris Field Crusher. 3 damage can remove a nice chunk of threats, or help close out a game going face. A 1/5 flyer can protect you pretty well, and that fire-breathing-like ability is a big threat. In 5th place, I have Atmospheric Greenhouse. Putting +1/+1 counters on all your creatures helps you station. In 4th place, I have a common at Pinnacle Killship. This 2-for-1 kills anything and leaves you with a 7/7 flyer. Don't sleep on this common. In 3rd place, I have Larval Scoutlander. Efficiently ramping looks to be exactly what Green wants to do. In 2nd place, I have Rescue Skiff. Returning a creature to the battlefield for 6 isn't too far off from effects like Back on Track and Aether Drift. Tacking on a 5/6 flyer that can immediately be stationed by the creature you just returned is worth the additional mana. And in 1st place, I have Galvanizing Sawship. This is just a 6-mana 6/5 flying haste, not too far off from Inferno or the Star Mounts from Adventures of the Forgotten Realms, which was an A-grade bomb. That's all for today, and see you when the set drops.